Okay, I'm back again. Sorry about that. Those of you who have children will understand the nature of working when you've got kids, and particularly now during lockdown, many of you are working from home. It's just something that you have to roll with. To roll with something means to just go with it. That's another phrase of to go with it or to go with the flow. So to roll with it or to go with the flow. The baby has been fed. He's now asleep once again on the couch behind me there. Hopefully it will stay that way for a little while. And then we're just going to roll with it. Let me put that on the screen for you. So we're just going to roll with it. We're going to go with the flow. So I want to do these live sessions more regularly, hopefully weekly or perhaps bi-weekly, so every other week, as and when I can find the time with the children and everything. So in the last part, we talked about dangling a carrot. We talked about vocabulary for falling over, to go flying, to trip, to stumble. And one of you mentioned the phrase to stumble over your words. That's when you lose your trail of speech and you say something wrong, you like that. You're stumbling over your words. You're not making a clean sentence. You stumble over your words. Okay, so the next short video lesson that I wanted to touch on was the one where I was in bed talking about waking up vocabulary. So we have the phrasal verb to wake up. Now there's a difference between wake up and get up. So if I say I woke up this morning at, what time did I wake up this morning? Well, I was up a lot through the night, so I think the final time I woke up was around 7 o'clock perhaps. So I woke up at 7 o'clock, but I didn't get up until maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. I stayed in bed with the baby this morning, feeding and just chilling out. So there is this difference between wake up is when you become conscious, open your eyes, and get up is to physically get out of bed. All right, so just try to remember that difference when you're talking about what time you got up or what time you woke up. So Emmy says, I woke up at 10 today. I woke up at 10 today. Fantastic. Nice lie-in for you. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Let me see what other comments are coming up. I thought get up and woke are the same, says Vipul. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Yes, get up and wake up. You can use them in the same context. If you get up at the point when you wake up, then that's fine. But if you are specifying a moment where you become conscious or a moment when you actually get out of bed, then you need to use the correct phrasal verb. Wake up, get up. Yeah? All right. Hassan says he gets up at 5. I wake you. Oh, that should be I wake up. I think that's a typo. I wake up at 5. Make sure you're using at. I wake up at 5. Now, because you've used wake instead of woke, so you've used the present simple, that means it's what you do every day. It's a general, regular thing. As a habit, I wake up at 5 every day. If you just want to say that this morning, you'd use the past. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning. Okay. All right. So if you're lucky, you will have a lie-in, especially at the weekend. On your day off, you'll get a lie-in. And this is one of my favorite phrasal verbs. It's something I don't get to do anymore, to lie in. Now, to lie in is when you sleep past, I'm trying to show this on screen, there we go, where you sleep past the time you would normally get up. It's not the same as accidentally sleeping through your alarm, that's a different phrase. To lie in is a choice to have a relaxing morning and to sleep for longer than you normally sleep. So usually in this house, we're awake between 6 and 7. If the children are being kind at the weekend, they'll let us lie in until 8 o'clock. It doesn't happen often. Now, if you do sleep past a time when you should get up, this is different. The phrase for this is to oversleep. To oversleep. Let me just put that in there. So if you were supposed to be in a meeting at 8:30 in the office, you'd phone work and say, I'm so sorry, I overslept. We talk about it mostly in the past because it's not something you plan to do. So often, I've written oversleep here, but I should have probably written overslept because we talk about it always in the past. Oh my goodness, I overslept this morning. It was an accident. I pressed the snooze button on my alarm and I just completely went into a deep sleep and I didn't wake up again for an hour and now I'm late. So you overslept. Oh, bless you. So to oversleep is when you don't intend to lie in. It's an unintended lie in. So here's a good example here from Virgil. He says, I overslept and missed the train. Yeah, that's quite a common thing that you'd say. I'm so sorry, I overslept and I missed the train and now I'm going to be late. Just be careful here, Virgil. When you're writing I, always capitalize it. When you're talking about yourself, I, always a capital. Okay, so I mentioned briefly about hitting the snooze button on your alarm. Now, you have an option when your alarm goes off to stop the alarm or to snooze the alarm. To snooze is to ask for a bit more time. So you might snooze for 5 minutes. Now, the word snooze means to have a little nap. So I could say, I'm going to have a snooze. I'm just going to have a 10-minute snooze on the couch because I'm quite tired. So snooze is the same as nap. And we hit the snooze button. You're asking for a nap. And then your alarm will go off again if you use the snooze button. So I've seen some of you try to use this phrase after you saw it in my short video, but you weren't using it quite right. So to hit the snooze button, or you could just say to hit snooze. I always hit snooze on my alarm in the morning. I don't have an alarm. I don't need an alarm. I have children. They get me up very early every day without fail. Okay. Right, what have we got next? Okay, the phrasal verb to go off. Your alarm, when it sounds, goes off. So we call that to go off. And it's interesting, the phrasal verb to go off, we use it when alarms sound, but we can also use it when we're talking about food that's gone rotten. So I regularly am asking my partner to check whether the food in the fridge is right to eat or if it's gone off. I was like, has this chicken gone off? Can you smell it? It smells funny to me. Everything smells funny to me. Can you smell this? Is this fish good? Smell it. Does it smell weird? Has it gone off? So we use it for rotten food or for sounds of an alarm. So the alarm is going off. In the middle of the night, if your car alarm goes off, you'll jump out of bed concerned that someone's trying to steal your car. At least I will be. Okay, so in the morning, what time does your alarm go off? Please let me know in the comments. Tell me what time your alarm goes off. Okay, so next we've got the short video where I talked about putting on weight. So I talked about weight and exercise. Interestingly, lots of people have commented in the last few months about how fat I look in my videos. And it is quite interesting because in British culture, it's deemed impolite to talk about someone's weight. I don't mind because I did put on a lot of weight over the last few months, over the last year, because I was pregnant and we were on lockdown, so I wasn't able to exercise. And I actually put on 4 stone, which is quite a lot of weight. So I was looking a little bit more round, curvaceous in my videos recently. But now I'm on a journey to lose weight. So I've lost quite a lot, but I've still got more to lose. But yes, just a note that we don't talk about people's weight generally. It's not polite in British culture to do so. Okay, so let me come back to the weight thing in a minute. Some of you have answered my previous question about your alarms and your time that you get up. We've got Ahmed here says, it goes off at 1:40 p.m. Is that a wake-up alarm, or is that an alarm to remind you to do something? If that's your wake-up alarm, then you are sleeping too much, unless you're doing night shifts. A night shift is when you work through the night. Who else has answered this question? Emmy says, I hate alarms. So you'd put an S on the end of that, Emmy. I hate alarms in general. I hate alarms. Okay, English 5 says, in the morning my alarm goes off at 9:20. Fantastic. Okay, here's a question. Why do, need the word do in there, why do people use well in between speeches? So I think you mean in between sentences or phrases. People might go, well, these are like fillers. And in every language, you'll have fillers. And fillers could be sounds like, oh, these are fillers. Or you could have words as fillers. So you have like, well, yeah, so these are there to allow you the time to think about what you're about to say. Okay, and you have it in every language. It's just that in this language we like to use well and like as our fillers, which can be confusing, I'm sure. Right, let me see now. Is there anything else I want to share here? Ah, yes. You know, Emmy says, you know, is also a filler. Like, well, okay, and you know. It's so weird, isn't it? Okay, so let's go back to talking about weight. Now, when we gain weight, we can say, I gain weight, or I gained weight, or I put on weight. Put on weight. So this is how we talk about growing. To gain weight, to put on weight. Okay, to gain weight, to put on weight. So I gained 4 stone, which in pounds is about 40, 50, around 52 pounds, I think. It's a lot. It's a lot. I've lost 3 stone now, so I'm getting back to where I was. I'm doing okay. Okay, so Raphael, oh, not that one. Raphael has said, I am overweight. So if you have put on weight, if you've gained weight, and you are beyond a healthy weight, then you could say, I am overweight as an adjective. I'm overweight. You could also, a nice friendly version of that is to say, I'm cuddly, or I'm curvy. So the opposite of gaining weight is to lose weight. Use the verb lose. So in the past, I say, I lost weight. I have lost, up to now, I have lost 3 stone. I've lost weight. Have you lost weight recently? Is stone a unit of weight? Yes. Stone, 1 stone is 14 pounds, I believe. I know that in many other countries they use kilograms as the unit of measurement for weight. Okay, I'm getting some requests for pronunciation, but we'll come back to that. So I put off weight. Ha ha ha. So we don't use that phrase. I know what you're saying, because you put on weight. So you're saying I put off weight. It doesn't work. We don't use that. You just say I lost weight, or I'm losing weight, or I have lost weight. But we never say I've put off weight. Funny though. Okay, so is putting weight correct? Putting on weight is correct. The phrasal verb is put on. Put on. So don't forget that little word on, to put on weight, and then that's correct. I am putting on weight. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I'm losing weight right now. What else do we have? I will do pronunciation practice at the end, so just keep those, and I'll do those at the end for you. Okay, so if you've lost weight, then you might want to tone up. Tone up. To tone up is when you create muscle definition. So you make yourself look like strong and muscular. It doesn't need to be really bulky, really muscular. You can still be quite slim and have the shape of muscle. And this is just called muscle tone, to have the tone of muscle, so you can see the muscle. So I might like to tone up. I actually need to tone up because I need to get strong. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I need to tone up. Okay, and if you are toned, if you have a toned body, then you could say that you're athletic. Athletic. So you can use athletic, or you can just say he's toned or she's toned. Share this with you. Sheng has said, can I say I can't see it. Can I say, goodness me, these comments are moving so fast. I've just lost your message. I think you said, can I say I gain weight? Yes, you can. I can't see your message now though. But that, oh yes, can I say I gain weight? Yes. So if you're talking in general, yeah, so you could say, oh, if I even look at a dessert, I gain weight. If I have one cookie, then I'll gain 10 pounds. Okay. But if you're talking about yourself now and saying that you have put on a certain amount of weight, then you'd say I have gained. So you have to put it into the past tense. I gained weight recently. Okay, so we're talking about athletic and toned is when you have muscular definition, so you can see the muscles. If someone is very muscly, they have big muscle mass, then we use that phrase muscly, the adjective muscly. Muscly. Is that spelled correctly? I think so. I don't think there's a spell checker on here, which is terrible because I'm dyslexic and I can't spell to save my life. That's an interesting phrase, actually. To say you can't do something to save your life. We use that a lot. To save, I'm going to say, my life. So I can't do something. You replace that with whatever it is to save my life. And you can use this for anything. You could say, oh, I can't sing to save my life. Or I can't ride a bike to save my life. I can't juggle to save my life. So you can put any activity in there. And it just means something that you just can't do. You've maybe tried it in the past and it just doesn't work. Okay. So talking about muscly guys, I met a couple of muscly guys who looked so big. Yeah, great. Muscly people usually are big. They usually have very tight fitted clothes, don't they? Or they have to wear very baggy clothes. I saw another one that I wanted to share here. I rather look a bit toned than slim. So you say, I would rather look a bit toned, with a D on the end, a bit toned than slim. Okay, so I would rather look a bit toned than slim. What about muscular, says Mohammed? Yes, you can say he's muscular. Muscly is just a quick and easy adjective to use, but muscular is kind of more technical. So muscly is a bit more laid back, relaxed, informal. Muscular is the more technical term. Okay, shall we move on? Here's just one quick question. How much idiomatic English don't miss out, do you use in your daily conversations? Loads. This is why it's very important if you're learning English to be used. If you want to converse in English, then it's really important that you learn idioms and phrasal verbs, because we use them all the time, every day, in every conversation. Oh, bless, someone has just dropped a super chat. Thank you very much. How can I share this one? Here we go. So thank you so much for that really kind donation. That's very, very sweet of you. And you said, my English is well met. I am of acceptable weight for my height. Oh, you speak very poetically. My English is well met. I am of acceptable weight for my height. So you will have a good BMI. A BMI is a type of measurement that we use here in the UK. It's the body mass index, and we shorten that to BMI. The body mass index measures, it takes into account whether you're male or female, how old you are, and then it measures your height against your weight and tells you whether you are a good weight, whether you are overweight, underweight. So we have overweight or underweight, or if you're of average weight. I think because I've always been quite active, I tend to sit on the overweight side of things, because I'm usually a little more muscular. And if you're muscular, muscle is heavier, and so I tend to be a little bit heavier. My BMI is just average, and I'm proud of that. Fantastic. And that's great, because that's, if you've got a good BMI, an average BMI, then that means that you are healthy and you're not putting any pressure on your joints or your organs. Okay, here's another one about weight. What does slim down mean? So slim down is a phrasal verb meaning to become slimmer, to become thinner than you are. So I am slimming down at the moment. As I said earlier, I've lost 3 stone. I've got 1 more to lose. In fact, I'm just over 3 stone, so I've got just under a stone to lose. And then I'll be back to my previous healthy weight BMI. There's Nick. Hi, Nick. He's being very quiet for the baby. Okay. Raphael says, a huge number of people want to lose weight, but they do not want to do exercise. Yeah, I think you have to find your exercise. Exercise can be so dull. At the moment, we're in lockdown, and I've not been able to play squash for a long time because I was pregnant, and then we had lockdown, and I've not been able to go to gymnastics or climbing. And these are the things I enjoy doing to exercise. But now the only exercise I can do is to go running or walking, to do a workout in the house. And I just find that so dull. So I think you have to find what you love, the exercise that makes you feel passionate and motivated. But you're right, there's a lot of exercise that's just not fun. Okay. Are you allowed to go for a walk? Yes, we are allowed to go for a walk. So we are in full lockdown at the moment, but we are allowed out to shop for groceries, so essentials. We're allowed to go to see the doctor or for any medical appointments. And we're allowed out once a day to exercise. And it's really important that I do exercise because I'm trying to slim down. Who's Nick, says Emmy. Nick is my life partner, the father of my children. I'd say he's my better half, but I think we're quite equal actually. So better half is a phrase that we use often to describe our partners. He's my better half. I'm going to share this with you now. But it does suggest that they are better than you. So he's my better half. Or my other half. You could say he's my other half. So the two of you are two halves and together you are whole. So my other half or my better half. Okay, so let's move on from weight. The next short lesson that I showed on YouTube was around the time when we had some snow here in the UK. We don't get much snow often, and we certainly don't get much snow in London, but we've had a lot recently. It's been very cold, and I did a short lesson talking about the snow. And I used the phrasal verb, it's coming down. So the snow is coming down, and that's what we say about the rain or about snow or hail. So, oh, the snow is coming down. We might even describe the speed at which it's coming down, usually if it's fast or heavy. So it's coming down fast now. Ooh. And I use the phrase to stick. So if snow sticks, this means that it stays on the ground. It doesn't melt when it touches the ground. And therefore it builds up a full layer of snow so that everything is coated in snow. And you can go out and throw snowballs, build a snowman, make snow angels, and just have fun. Usually what happens here in London particularly, when it snows, you'll see the snow coming down, but it doesn't stick. It touches the ground and melts. And so you can see it, but you can't play with it. And that's really sad. But recently we had a lot of snow and it did stick. It came down hard, it came down heavy, and it did stick. And we had a thick layer of snow for quite a few days. People were able to do stuff. Okay. Oh, lovely. We've just had a new member join. That's lovely. JM Lyon. So some of you may not know I have a membership feature on YouTube where you can join, be a member. You can then join in my chat group on Skype, get access to lesson notes and additional videos. And GM Leon has just joined us. That's really nice to see you. Hopefully we can chat to you later in the chat group on Skype. Lovely to have you. And thanks for joining. Okay. Hi, American English with this guy. How are you doing? You've been enjoying the shorts. Thank you. They're actually really good fun to make. Easier for me to make when I've got young children, and everyone's been enjoying them. So I'm going to keep doing them. Obviously using these live lessons to explain some of the vocabulary. And thank you so much for the donation as well. That's really appreciated. So if anyone's learning American English, then this guy is probably a good place to go and check out. Let's go and have a look at. Okay, right, so I was talking about snow sticking, and if you are going out to play in the snow, then you will want to wrap up warm. Wrap up warm. So let me just put this on your screen. To wrap up warm, it just means to put layers on and literally wrap yourself up to keep you warm. I don't know why we say wrap up warm. It's almost unnecessary to add warm on the end, but we do say wrap up or wrap up warm. I often say it. Oh, I need to wrap up warm. It's so cold outside. Another unnecessary pairing of words is freezing cold. So if it's cold, then it's, it's not warm. If it's freezing, then that means that the temperature's dropped below 0. So we can describe the temperature as being freezing. Oh, it's freezing. We can describe the weather as being cold. But we often, when it's very cold, use the two together. Oh, it's freezing cold today, which is really weird. It's really weird. Okay, so hopefully it's not freezing cold where you are. JM Leon, you said, hi Anna, great to be here. You, as always, teaching very practical English with your amazing British pronunciation. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Well, it's really lovely to have you. Okay. All right. Here's an interesting comment. Aidan, hi. Is the American accent more common or British? So you'd say, is the American or British accent more common? I guess that's a better way to put it. I think overall, American English and the American accent is the more common accent around the world, because it's just taught more in international schools, and lots of people find it easier to learn American English because of media, because of films and music, because American films, American music has a wider reach around the world. So many people are more comfortable with American English. I did a video recently talking about which you should learn. And one of the interesting things is that many people believe you have to learn one or the other, but you don't. We all understand each other very well. There are many versions of English, not just American and British. There's Canadian English, and there's African English, Indian English, Australian English. Lots of different versions of the English language spoken around the world, and the basics we all understand. There will be some nuances, there'll be some phrases that are particular to an area, particular to a country. But in general, as long as you're learning English, you can go with any variety you wish, and you can mix it up if you like as well. Okay? Which one do you guys prefer? Which version of English do you prefer? Okay, so going back to snow, there was a word I mentioned in my snow short video, which lots of you said, I've never heard that word before. And it's the word thaw. To thaw. If something thaws, it means it melts, and the liquid all disappears. So often I will have to, I've just remembered, I was supposed to get the fish out of the freezer this morning to thaw for dinner tonight, and I forgot. And I've just remembered now. So to thaw means usually it's when something is frozen and you want it to melt so that you can then use that item if it's an item that's frozen, or you might look forward to the snow thawing and the spring arriving if you're going from winter to spring. Okay. Oh, hang on. I didn't mean to share that one. I might share this one. How often should you review new words? It's a really good question. My method would have you learn a new word. An hour later or very soon after, you review it. And then again, at the end of the day, you review it. So you'd look at that new word 3 times in the first day. You've just learnt it. You review it an hour later, and you review it at the end of the day. Then you review it once the next day. Then you review it once at the end of the week or a week later. And then again a month later. So you learn it an hour later, end of the day, next week, next month. By that point, you will have put that word into your long-term memory, because you're going over and over it, and it just pushes it into a long-term position. This is what I used to teach when I used to deliver a study workshop to college students who are doing their exams. It's a really good technique, and it's proven that if you just keep revisiting a piece of information regularly initially and then spreading it out, if you do it enough times, you will remember it. Okay? Giving meaning to these words as well really helps. So if you try to attach it to a story or make it seem funny, attach it to an image. All these things help to put it into your long-term memory. Okay, right, so here's a phrase. I don't remember which video this was in, but here is a phrase that I think is good for you to know. To get on and do something. To get on and do something. So the phrasal verb get on can be used in lots of different ways. You might get on with another person. That means that you are friendly with each other. You get along. That's another version. So you're friendly with one another. Hopefully you get on with your better half or your other half. Hopefully you get on with your family. You definitely will get on with your friends, otherwise you wouldn't be friends. Hopefully you're getting on with the people that you're locked down with, because otherwise that would be a disaster. But we can use get on to also mean to start something or to continue and complete something. So I might say, look, don't talk to me now. I need to get on and feed the baby. So that's a task I need to start, continue, and complete. Oh, I can hear Jacob. Yeah. So my partner has now had to stop working. He's going to get Jacob down. So to get on and do something. Okay. Lots of people talk about doing something, but lockdown has given people an opportunity to get on and do those things they've been talking about doing for such a long time. Moving on. We had a video where I was sat in my car and talking about car vocabulary. And we mentioned things like sunroof. The sunroof is a window that's in the roof of the car to allow sunshine to come in. So the sunroof. We mentioned a visor. A visor. The visor is the piece of like plastic that pulls down in front of your eyes, whether you're in the driver's seat or in the passenger seat, in the front, you pull the visor down so it stops the sun from blinding you, the visor. Okay. Air conditioning. You need air conditioning to keep the car nice and cool if it's hot, if you're in a hot country. More and more now in the UK, we need air conditioning in the car because we get some very, very hot days. Okay, so we also have the difference between an automatic car or a manual. Now, I learned to drive in a manual car, and that means there was a gear stick and a clutch, and I had to change gear and gear up or gear down. Now we have an automatic car, which means the car chooses the gear for us. We don't have to change gears. We don't have a gear stick. And I think in America, this is called stick shift, to ride stick shift. I don't know. But I think your word for gear stick is different to ours. I think manual cars are going out of fashion. I think automatic cars are the norm now, and maybe when my children are grown up and learning to drive, they won't ever come across a manual car, and that makes me feel really old. When I was born and when I was a child, we had no mobile phones or computers or internet, and when my children are grown, there'll be no manual cars. Oh, they are more fun. They are definitely more fun. Oh, gear shift, Sandro. Gear shift, thank you for that. That's the American version. And Luciano says manual cars are more fun. I absolutely agree with you. I do miss having a gear stick. Okay, so if you want to go backwards in a car, we call that to reverse. To reverse. So we can. That's the standard word, but you can also say back up. I just need to back up the car, or can you just back up into that space? Oh, is Jacob grumpy? Jacob! No, sounds like the toddler's woken up grumpy. Okay, so if you're reversing, it might be because you need to park. So you might need to back up your car and park it. And to park your car is to put it into a space where it's going to stop and you're going to turn it off. And that's why we have a car park, is a large space where lots of cars can stop and people can get out, a car park. Okay, so if you're in a manual car and you park your car, you will turn your key and take your key out of the ignition. The ignition is the place where you put the key in and turn it to turn on the engine. You turn it back and take it out to turn the car off. That's the ignition. Ignition. And I also mentioned about the seats that the children sit on in the back. You have a baby seat or just general car seat. So you just call what a child sits on. The insert is a car seat, a child's car seat or a baby car seat. Okay. Now, I did then do a short video sat in my bed in the bedroom with Nick. Nick appeared on one of my shorts, and I opened the short by saying, welcome to my boudoir. My boudoir, and that's a French word. Do we have any French people here today? Boudoir is French for bedroom. I hope, I think, I believe. I'll be really embarrassed if I'm wrong about that. We use it sometimes in English when we're trying to be fancy. So, oh, my boudoir. So it's just a bit of fun that we think that boudoir sounds more fancy than bedroom. But we were in the bedroom and we were talking about bed sizes. We have these sizes. I'll share them with you. We start with a single, and then you have a double, and then a queen size bed, a king size bed, and even bigger than that is a super king. A super king. What size bed do you have? We have a super king size bed. I was very lucky. I won a competition and won a super king size mattress. So I was like, okay, now I have to get a super king size bed to put my super king size mattress on. It's probably the strangest thing I've ever won, but it was the most amazing thing I've ever won as well. Yes, so Super King is very large, and I'm very grateful to have it because we like to have the children come into the bed and we all hang out together. We have a beautiful projector that projects like stars onto the ceiling, and at night time, before we all go to sleep, we all lie on our backs on the bed looking at the stars on the ceiling and pretending that we're in the mountains or something. Now, my partner said during that video that we would have gotten way less sleep if we didn't have this big bed. Way less. Now, this is a very relaxed, informal way of using the word way. Way here means it's almost like very, although you wouldn't say very less, but way less is just kind of exaggerating. You say way less, way more. I might say I was way more upset than it seemed, because I seemed like I was happy, but I was way more upset than you think I was. Okay, so we can say way more or way less. It just exaggerates more or less. Yeah. American English with this guy says, my wife and I only have a queen size bed. Oh, sad face. Sad face. Get a queen size. Get a super king. You'll love it. You'll sleep at the furthest end from each other. Even if you love each other very much, you'll be like, give me some space. Okay. Can we say far more? Yes. Yes, you can. You can absolutely say far more. And far less. Okay, here's a phrase that also came up in that particular video in the boudoir, and it's to be clear. To be clear. Let me share this. To be clear, and this is just a way of saying that you want to make it clear what you meant. So if you say something that could be perceived in a different way, if someone might see it or hear it to mean something different than what you actually meant, then you'd say, oh, to be clear, let me just make it clear that. Okay, so if you want to clear up your meaning and make sure they properly understand what you meant, you'd use the phrase, to be clear. And in fact, my partner said, just to be clear. So we sometimes add just before it. Just to be clear, just in case you misconstrued my meaning, this is what I meant. So you'd say, just to be clear, and then follow it with what you meant. Okay? Okay. Oh, American English with this guy has just become a member. That's really sweet. Thank you. Thank you. My guys will love you in the Skype group. It'll be really good to have you there. Okay, so Diego says, to clarify sounds different. No, it's just, it's exactly the same. So you can say, just to be clear, or to clarify. I think clarify probably sounds a little bit more formal, but it's very similar. I mean, they're pretty much interchangeable. But to clarify, I'd probably use more in a formal setting, like at work, to clarify. But you can say, just to be clear. Here's another one. Leyland, you're absolutely right. Do I make myself clear? You'd use that at the end as a question. You'd say, have I made myself clear? Have I made myself clear? This phrase, however, can sound a little bit abrupt. So I might say that if I've just told my partner or my children that they're not supposed to do something, if I've told them off, if I'm a bit cross, if I find food on the floor one more time, then I'm not going to let you eat at the breakfast bar. Is that clear? Have I made myself clear? So it's not a great example, but it's usually something you'd say after telling somebody off. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. So the last video I put up, and that means we're bringing this session to an end. The last video I put up, I was recently talking about the mess in my house, because having kids and being in lockdown just means constant mess here, constant mess. And the phrases or the words I used initially were untidy. I think everyone knows that word. And messy. So messy is a bit more relaxed. Untidy, it's very standard. So my house is untidy, my house is messy. These words do not mean dirty. They're not the same as dirty. So my house is probably a bit dusty, actually, but it's not dirty. We don't wear shoes in the house. I try to keep on top of any mess, any food mess. We empty the bins regularly. We wash up regularly. So my house isn't dirty. It is dusty. There is dust on things. And it's very messy, very untidy. Now, the more fun words that you might use are, and these are very informal, and I'd never go around to someone else's house and say, your house is a pigsty. But this is a phrase that I think is quite fun. Oh, hang on a minute. Whoa, that's not what I'm going to share. Where's mine gone? There we go. Pigsty. Pigsty. A pigsty is where pigs live. And so obviously if you refer to your home or a space that you're in as a pigsty, you're saying it's very, very messy, very, very dirty, actually. We also say it looks like a bomb's hit it. It looks like. So the actual phrase is, it looks like a bomb's hit it. It looks like a bomb's hit it. Let me share this with you. But sometimes you just say, it's a bomb's hit it. It's a bomb's hit it. Even though that doesn't make sense. If you said, oh, my house is a bomb's hit it. Even though that doesn't grammatically make sense, everyone would know exactly what you mean. But the full sentence is, it looks like a bomb's hit it. Is Jacob going to say hello? Okay, so my house looks like a bomb's hit it. I'm sorry, I put a capital B there. I didn't mean to do that. Obviously, that's not correct. Okay, so if your house is dusty, very untidy, if it looks like a pigsty, hello, then you might want to have a spring clean. Let me just get Jacob in here. There he is. Oh, don't fall over, mate. You're on your scooter. And your scooter is very messy, isn't it? It's got muddy wheels. Jacob, who's that? Who's that? Say hiya. Say hiya. 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 Jacob, what words can you say? Can you say go away? Oh, can you say beautiful? Can you say delicious? Yes, you can. Careful. Can you say go Jetters? Go, go, bee, go, go, bee. That's him saying go, go, please. Go Jetters. Bee. Please. Can you say more? So Jacob has a speech delay, a slight speech delay. He should be speaking more than he is. But, you know, we're working on it. He does have some words. All those words I said he can say. He just gets shy. Okay, so a spring clean is what I was talking about. A spring clean is something you tend to do in spring when the winter's past. You open the windows, you open the door, you dust out the house, and you give it a good clean up. So a spring clean is like a thorough clean. Now, although we use the word spring, a spring clean can be done at any time in the year. It could be in autumn, it could be winter. We just refer to it as a spring clean. Someone just asked how old Jacob is. He is 2.5. He's 2.5. He's very big for his age. So I think all of his energy's gone into growing physically, and so he's a bit behind on other things. How many months apart are your two children? Mine are 15 months apart. Yours look roughly the same. Oh, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough. So Jacob is... Bye, darling. Jacob is 28 months now, and Caspian is 14. He's 3.5 months. So it's 14 weeks. So what's that? Jacob was 2. Jacob was 2 when Caspian was born. So 2 years apart. Okay. Hello, stunning lad. Constantly repeating words helps Jacob learn them. Absolutely. And he does like to repeat them. The latest phrase he learned was go away. And he just tells me to go away all the time. He thinks it's really funny. Obviously, it breaks my heart. But it's good that he is learning. Okay, so the last little phrase I've got here before I wrap up, and as you'll know, wrap up means to bring something to an end, to finish, is top to toe. And this is with, in regards to spring clean. I said in the video, I'm going to clean from top to toe. But you can use this in other ways as well. So it means from the very top of a room, perhaps, or the top of a house, to the very bottom, the toe. Imagining if it was a person from top to toe. So I might say I've had a makeover from top to toe. They've done my hair. I've had some new clothes, some nails. They've even done my toenails. So from top to toe, I've been transformed. Or you can talk about a house, a building, from top to toe, from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to spring clean my house from top to toe. And it just means thoroughly, every room, every area of the house. Okay, fantastic. So I said I would give some time to do pronunciation practice. If anyone has one, here is one from Sharif. Sharif, can you pronounce the verb, bye darling, to read? So in the present, I'm going to read. I am reading. Read. In the past, I read. which is the same as the color red, like my logo there is in red. Red. So I read, I will read. In the past, I read. Okay. Is it correct to say to glam up from top to toe? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna glam up from top to toe. That means I'm gonna do my hair, I'm gonna do my face, I'm gonna even wear my sparkly heels. Okay. Okay, questions. How to improve accent. If you want to work on accent, then one of the best things you can do is listening, mimicking and shadowing is really good. I would suggest that it's really quite helpful if you understand what your target accent is. If you're learning an accent, you need to know what the features are of that accent as well. If you generally just want to improve your overall pronunciation, because pronunciation is not just about accent, then you need to, again, understand what it is you need to work on. Is it that you feel that you mumble? Is it the volume at which you speak? Is it the speed at which you speak? Many people speak too fast when they're learning English, or when English is a second language. Natives speak too fast in most instances. I'd always suggest slowing down. But you have to understand what it is about your speech that you want to improve, and then spend a lot of time listening to other people. Oh my goodness, wow, thank you guys, goodness me. So thank you, Stunning Lad, for your £10 contribution. That's really very sweet. And there's another one that's come through here as well. Another one from Light Hammer 66. She said, I love listening to English, Irish and Scottish accents and all the many variations of each. It's like music to my ears. It's a really great phrase. Currently, I am into the Derry accent. Brilliant. I also love Irish and Scottish accents as well. The phrase music to my ears is what you use when you like the sound of something. Obviously, music is very gentle. Well, not always gentle, but it's nice. If it's your kind of music, it's nice to hear, and it's very nice on the ears. So you'd say, wow, that's music to my ears. You can say it about something that's not musical. So if someone says something you like to hear, like if your partner, you've been with them for a year and they finally say, I love you, then you go, oh, that's music to my ears. I'm so happy to hear it. Okay. So thank you very much for your contribution as well. That's very sweet. Okay, how to improve my public speaking in English. Okay, so I have videos on public speaking, but just some very quick tips. One of the most important things when speaking in public is to practice. I can't emphasize that enough. If it's something you're going to be delivering, something you've prepared, like a speech or a presentation, then you've got the opportunity to practice and get everything right. If you're having to speak in public where you can't pre-prepare, so therefore you can't practice, then one of the things you can do is be prepared for that subject. If you know that you're going into a workshop where you might have to speak, and you know that workshop's about a certain subject, then you can look up a variety of vocabulary and phrases that you'd use in that topic. And therefore you come armed, prepared with some phrases and some vocabulary so that you're not caught off guard. Caught off guard, there's a phrase for you. To be caught off guard means something takes you by surprise. So you're not guarding, you're not ready, you're caught off guard. Oh, I'm surprised. What? I don't know. And that happens. It happens to me when I'm doing these live lessons and people ask me questions and I go, off the top of my head, without looking it up, off the top of my head, I don't know. You caught me off guard. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more questions and then I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to check my baby's okay. He's been sleeping for a long time. which is good, but makes me worry too. Okay, let's see. See, is there any questions here that I can provide a good answer to? Emmy says, can I say I love him from top to toe? Yeah, because that's saying I love everything about him. I love him from top to toe. Yes, you can. You can. We can say the sound kids laughing is music to my ears. So the sound of kids laughing is music to my ears. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Anna. How can I improve my dictation? Do you mean diction? So dictation is when someone speaks for you to write. So you take dictation. But diction is to have clarity in the sounds that you make. So if I pronounce all of my T's and P's and K's and give you a strong fricative have you ever visited the Volvo garage? So that's to have good diction, is to be very clear and precise with your speech. If that's what you mean, and I think it is, hopefully it is, the way you improve your diction is firstly to slow down, to give yourself time to clearly enunciate and get your mouth around every sound, but to also do regular articulation exercises and tongue twisters. Tongue twisters are great for improving your diction. And to be mindful. Changing the way you speak is trying to change a habit of a lifetime. And so if you want to improve the way you speak, you have to really focus on making those changes during your day-to-day life, not just during your study time. You have to take it outside of the classroom all the time. So when I'm teaching, I have a pronunciation course, and when I teach students face-to-face, or when I used to, and even in the course, I encourage you to think about a new sound every day. So if you've just done my lessons on the TH sound, which is one that many people struggle with, th and th, then I'd say just think about this one sound all day today. You won't remember, but hopefully a couple of times you'll think, oh, TH, 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 and then you try to pronounce that particular sound well. Okay, so it takes time, but like I said, tongue twisters, articulation exercises. If you are interested in pronunciation courses, then I do have one that I released recently on my website, which is scrolling along the bottom of the screen. And if you're not sure what you need to work on, I do also have a pronunciation assessment service. So I can have a listen to your pronunciation and tell you what you need to work on. Now, just so you know, my course is not, it's not face-to-face, it's not live lessons with me. It's a video course, but there are also over 5,000 audios for you to use for shadowing and listening purposes. There's worksheets to download and things like that. And very soon, I'm going to be producing a number of English courses to take you from beginner all the way to advanced, and a business English course as well. So I'm very busy right now, and you guys have got lots to look forward to, hopefully. Okay, so do you like classic British rock, like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin? I mean, it doesn't get any better. Yeah, I do. I'm very, I do love the music, of course. It's classic. I spent 2 years working on cruise ships as a singer-dancer, and we did a lot of like British classics, because those are the kinds of musical shows that people enjoy on cruise ships. And so I sang these kinds of songs, or danced to these songs every night for years. And so some of them now I'm a little bit tired of, a little bit, not bored, but just tired, like particularly ABBA. We did the ABBA show so much, and I'm so bored. I know that's not necessarily rock, but nor British. So I don't know why I brought ABBA up, but there are lots of bands that we covered, classic bands that we covered, and yeah, I just kind of get a bit bored of that older music now. I'm kind of more into newer music. Okay, I'm going to take a couple more questions, and I am going to have to go. Here's a question from Green Sky. How can I handle those situations when people laugh at me because of my pronunciation? I know I need to improve, but they are unrespectful in some cases. So the word is disrespectful, not unrespectful. So disrespectful. Now, there's a couple of things that are really important to say here. If someone's making fun of you, then they're not worth your time. I have people message me regularly saying my friends are making fun of me, people are laughing at me, or my people at work are laughing at me. It's their problem that they're making fun of you. All of you here, or pretty much all of you here, you all have more than one language, which is so much more than the majority of British natives. You guys are already excellent. You're amazing. You're, phenomenal that you can learn more than one language and get it to a point where you're working or conversing with other people in that language. That's an incredible achievement. So if people laugh at you and make fun of you, pay no mind to them, pay no attention to them. They are not worth you getting upset about what they have to say, because you're already doing so much better than they are by learning another language. So try not to worry about what other people think. If you want to improve your pronunciation for your sake, because you want to be clearer, because you just want to sound different, then that is your choice and should only be because you want to, not because other people are making you feel bad. Okay? How do you handle that situation? It really depends what the situation is. I would always try to just brush it off, not worry about it, not get visibly upset, and just try to be, I would just say to them, how many languages do you speak? Is probably how I would deal with that situation. But yeah, and this is what Stunning Lad just said to you, Green Sky. Ignore such people. Your writing is good. Yeah, that's a good point. Your writing is great. So, I would ignore anyone who tries to put you down. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I don't know how long we've been here because this new software does tell me the time. It's been over an hour. Wow, gosh, time goes quickly. This is a new software, so I hope that it's all going well. I hope you've been able to hear me okay, and it's not been annoying, and that the signal's been strong enough to hold the video throughout. I do hope that you'll give this video a like, and that if you're not following me, that you'll click the follow button and keep joining me for regular sessions in the future. If you do have any questions that I haven't answered, then I am sorry that I missed your comments. Please do leave it in the comment section. And if I have a chance, I do have my hands full at the moment, but if I have a chance, I will try to respond to you. Do join me next week. I'm going to be releasing a short video every day, and this is on YouTube. So come to YouTube, English Like a Native, for a short video every day. And then next Sunday, I'll release another longer lesson, or I'll be live. So turn on the notifications and you'll know what's happening. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon.